Grief milestone for Kristin.
Yeah, I did. And I was pleasantly surprised at the grief milestone. So I went to Kentucky to visit family over our memorial vacation. And the moment I got to my mom's house, I was like, this is what I'm doing for everybody for Christmas. I'm going to digitize all of our old videos. So all of the 8mm film. Yes, my early childhood is actually on film, not on VHS tape. So I'm going to take the 8mm film. I'm going to take all the VHS tapes and the VHC tapes when they move to the little tapes, and I'm going to find somewhere and I'm going to get them all digitized because we haven't laid eyes on any of these memories since my mom had that giant camcorder on her shoulder and was recording us, right? She constantly jokes that whenever we took family vacation, she had to see everything in black and white because she was looking through that screen. And we got to see the Grand Canyon in color. She had to see it in black and white. But she did a fantastic job at documenting all of these memories. So I was at my mom's, and behind this door was a stack. I'm not kidding you, probably 8 feet tall, and that's not an exaggeration, of bins of VHS tapes and 8mm film.
Wow.
Okay. So we pull every single one of them out. Now, mind you, I'm going to call her out. I think it was 3 or 4 of those bins were all Murder, She Wrote episodes. Homegirl loved her some Angela Lansbury. And I'm not kidding you. She had tape 1, tape 2, tape 3. She labeled them all up to tape 60 something. It was wild. I'm like, okay, well, we're not going to digitize Angela. I think you can go to a streaming service and watch you some Murder, She Wrote. So I'm not going to spend money on that. But I started looking at the labels that my mom had. So there's our Florida vacation from 1985. We apparently went to Kings Island quite a bit. And if you don't know what Kings Island is, if you live in Kentucky or Ohio, it's a theme park like Six Flags. And it was all Hanna-Barbera land. It was those kind of characters. So we used to go there. There is my brother's second birthday in 1984. And then you start moving up into the VHS, which is the late 80s and 90s. And there's my old basketball games and, Christmas 1987. And then there's our entire trip out west and our entire trip out east. And I'm like, we literally have not laid eyes on any of this stuff since we went on the trip. And I'm like, and we're not going to unless we get them digitized. So of course, my mother has a VHS player. So I started looking and, watching some of these videos to make sure the stuff that was labeled was actually on on the tape. And I'm popping stuff in and I'm watching, and I pop in a video from one of our Disney trips back in the 80s. And there we are standing in line to get on the monorail. And back in the day, I don't even know if they still do this anymore. You could go to the very front of the monorail and you can ride in the front with the captain, and you can sit in the front and you can look out and you can ride with the captain. So my brother and I were doing that. And I think my brother's 6 and I'm 8. And so I pop it in, and Mom, of course, Mom's not in any of the videos because, Mom was the camera woman. But there we are. There's our backs. And then there's my dad with his, what kind of hat would you say that is? Like a Tommy Bahama type hat.
Okay, yeah.
And those really y'all wore some short shorts back in the day, man.
Yeah, we did.
Started the hoochie daddy trip.
Yeah.
Skies out, thighs out. It was all day.
There was a lot of escaping.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, you know what I'm saying?
Might want to tuck it.
Yeah.
And he's the one that's got the camera, and he's carrying my mom's bag. But it was so refreshing. And now mind you, it's been years now since my dad has passed away. But I never would have been able to even have pushed that VHS tape into the machine to even watch it.
Sure.
So I'm sitting there and there's no tears. I just got a smile on my face being able to see my dad young and healthy again, because the pictures I have and the ones that pop up in my memories on my iPhone, God, freaking iPhone,
right,
is the ones when
it's cruel sometimes.
It really is cruel sometimes. And it's him emaciated and, as he was about to pass. So to be able to see him like that again was it was just so lovely to be able to feel happiness and not sadness. So because before it just would have been, like I said, it is a grief milestone when you can pass that threshold of being able to look at pictures of your loved ones and remember them fondly and not, just be devastated that they aren't here. Don't get me wrong. The grief is always going to be there because because if the love is always going to be there, the grief is always going to be there. That's just a given. But I am so excited. I have 100 tapes.
Wow.
To digitize.
That's insane.
You got some work to do.
Yeah, man.
I'm not doing it. I'm paying somebody. That's why it's my Christmas gift to everybody. But yeah, and so just to be able to go back and relive those memories, I'm really, really excited, and I'm not dreading it. Before, whenever I looked at pictures, I had to get your girlfriend Amanda right after my dad passed away. I wanted to put wedding albums together for all the family members as a gift, and I physically couldn't do it because I couldn't look at the photos, and he was healthy in those. He had cancer, but we didn't know he had cancer yet. So to be able to look at that stuff now and not feel like this just internal dread, I feel like that it's it's a little grief milestone.
I would say that when it's finally edited together and when you finally sit down to watch it, if I were you, I would not drink water for 3 days before that. You want to be dehydrated because you're going to cry like a baby at that point.
What do you mean? I do need to drink water, so I am hydrated.
No, I'm saying if you don't want to cry, then don't drink water.
So I'm dehydrated, so I can't get tears.
No more tears, man.
Dry crying worse.
The Bert Show.